Wolfgang, where you at, man?
Yeah, we ain't playing games. Can y'all hear? Microphone check 1, 2. Yeah. Do y'all hear me? I'm just making sure y'all hear me. You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second. Indeed. Cat, everyone. Is everyone here? Hey, long gone. Appreciate you, Auntie Leia. Everyone here. Hold on. We're gonna do the roll call in a second. I'm sorry. I had some technical difficulties, and I'm sitting over here trying to get this thing moving, and I don't know, something happened. Let me see. All right, we're gonna rock like this. Welcome to the set, y'all. What's good? Yeah, apologies again. Just had a little technical difficulties, and I'm normally on time. You know, I'm in radio, so you got to be on time when you're dealing with radio. But nonetheless, I am here. I'm here. What's up, y'all? What's up? If y'all hear me good, put a 1. If there's any issues, put a 2. What's good? Natural 1. Pretty Nikki, what's good? What's popping? What's bubbling? Long gone. I said Netta. The homie Jay Mizak. What it do? What's good, y'all? Hey, yeah, man. I appreciate everyone here, and I just wanted to say something. I'm not finna kick the chair though. Y'all obviously see what the title is: the expose of this dogpiling campaign that has been going on, and to my knowledge, it's been going on to some years, but I'm just now getting wind of it, and I'm just going to speak a little bit on it. I think I'm going to do like a series about this, because this is going to tie all in to the Behind the Screen documentary. Now, Behind the Screen documentary, this documentary that I'm going to produce, it's essentially talking about these whistleblowers and the stress that they go through, you know, in their normal everyday life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you decide you want to say something about a certain topic or say something about a certain injustice. I'll say it like that. You want to say something about a certain injustice, and then all of a sudden there's a smear campaign. There's a dogpiling campaign on you, on your life, and you know, the people around you, and you're being ostracized, and they're gaslighting, and they're messing with your finances. It's heavy. So yeah, like that's gonna be a part of the series, but I'm gonna kick it off here because right now, just a dogpiling campaign that I see, and I'm in the midst of. It's just very interesting. It's very interesting. So look, y'all, look. Let me start off by saying this. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. And I guess I'll kick it off with, you know, I don't have the thumbnail up, but who I have in the thumbnail, when you see the thumbnail, there's a list of characters. I'll just say it like that. There's a list of characters, and that's only the beginning. It's not even the whole thing. It's just the beginning. You get what I'm saying? It's not the whole thing, but it's a lot more deeper than what people think. Because I'll say it like this. Oh, wait, hold on. I'll say it like this. And this is what I learned today. Here's wisdom. Here's jewels. You only allow what you want in your life. So like a situation like this dogpiling campaign, though, that has been going on, that's not a thing where it's kind of like you welcome it. Like any type of harassment, any type of issues that come to you unbeknownst to you, essentially you can either entertain it or you can ignore it. It's not like cancer. With cancer, you have to treat it or you have to ignore it. I mean, or you shouldn't ignore it. If you ignore it, it just must metastasize and it gets worse. So ultimately, you are the controller of your destiny and your circumference. You should be able to master your circumference and what goes on in and around your life. But when you have dogpiling campaigns like that I'm witnessing, it's kind of like, there's an unseen hand doing this. There's forces doing that. There's things that's going on where you're like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, I'll share with y'all some stuff that I've just, seen in my real day-to-day life in the past couple of weeks. And I'm just like, can't nobody tell me God ain't real, because God is real. You get what I'm saying? And he gives you the ability to master your circumference, and you study your opponents. So like, for example, the situation that I talked about on the last video, let me just go back. We're going to get into the little salacious hip hop stuff. Wack and Ack. There's a whole thing right now where Ack is, Wack, or as the homie FBI call him, he call him Ho No Hunted. In the hood affectionately, he calls him Red Lobster Cheddar Cheese Biscuit Face. Some people even call him Three Finger Whack. I don't know what that's about. Well, I kind of know what that's about, but I don't want to get into that. That's kind of nasty. Whack 100 mad at academics, right? And what has happened, Ack had created a narrative where Ack was saying some things like he's the police and the feds are going to talk to him. It was like either or both. When it's coming to this whole situation with Big U and the so-called quote unquote Rolling 60s Rico, there's this narrative that Ack has been pushing, and that's it. He's saying, people are saying, "Oh, you're the police." People have been saying Wack 100 is the police, and now they're saying, the feds are going to talk to him or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. In all honesty, I don't know. I don't care. But what I'm saying is you got to be careful of what people say about you on the internet. And I'm tying all this in because it's all going to make sense. People were saying all types of stuff about Wack, but Wack is saying, well, the origin came from Ack. And then let me move it on over right now, because academics was talking to old Vlad the hip hop impaler. Oh, you like that beat? Yeah. Shout out to Voodoo. I think I got to go on the booth with Black Diamond. We got to lay something to this. Yeah, that's Voodoo. The same guy who produced Nature the Threat. That's him. Shout out to Voo. Western Hemisphere. Yeah, academics and DJ Vladimir, they did a thing on his podcast. They did an interview. I guess Ack was interviewing him, and DJ Vlad had a few choice words to say. In all honesty, it was some good game, and I'm not here to like promote them, so you really ain't got to listen to it. But I wanted to chime in on a conversation or a topic he said or he had. Vlad basically snitched on Drake. He was saying, well, something happened in his Hidden Hills home. There was a situation that happened where, is it Metro? I believe it was Metro. Said, hey, he want to say something on a song, but he doesn't want to say it because it'll implicate him, something that happened at Drake's house, etc., etc. And in so many words, DJ Vlad snitched on Drake. I mean, if y'all want to go listen to it, go listen to it. But In all honesty, it's like 3 hours. It's kind of like, man, geez. But from what I've taken from that, Vlad is smart. And Vlad is, he'll line somebody up without lining somebody up. That's kind of where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? You say the background is fire. Yeah. The beat. Yeah, that, like I said, that's Voo. Western Hemisphere. Shout out to Voo, my boy Voodoo. I'm gonna get some more bangers from him. Cause and in fact he gotta brush me up on this MP3 3000. I'm actually getting in the lab and just taking care of BI, and he's like Master Splinter. Y'all don't know who Voodoo is? That's my guy, Master Splinter. Though he's a teacher, man, and he's fire. That beat, I actually gave him that sample. Let me bang it out a little bit. Hold on. I gave him this sample. Well, I'm gonna let it run back. Hold on, we're gonna take a little quick break. I'm gonna let the beat run back because you can hear the original sample. And where did I get the original sample from? All right, we taking a hip hop break. That's what it is. I appreciate y'all. If y'all like beats, then trust me, you're gonna get more and more production, more and more beats. You'll hear more and more. Every beat that you hear, though, is of either me or my comrades. You were hearing some beats before, and they were from my boy CAB. Shout out to CAB. He produced for Black Dynamite. He's done some stuff for he's done some things for he's done some things. That's it. But hold on, you know what? Let me get back to the story because I think this beat actually goes. This beat goes like hours. Is it? Is it almost done? Nah, this beat just goes. But the original sample. Hold on. Yeah, I don't want nobody taking my beat anyway. Yeah. All right, the original sample is not like I don't know. The original sample isn't like this. Voodoo just put his fingerprints on it and killed it. But me and my boy Stone, my boy Drew Infinite, may he rest in peace, we came up with that beat. He had the drum, he had the sample, and he had the drums. I had the sample. If I pull out all my records that I got, like I can come up with. I have some crazy records, and it's just endless. Like you can create. That's why I love hip hop, because you be creative with the music side. True innovator to the culture. Shout out to Voodoo. Rest in peace to my boy Drew Inf. Unlike two people who were doing an interview, they call themselves DJs, and I haven't heard them do one DJ set ever. I know your girl talks about Questlove, and at least shout out to him. He's a DJ. I've seen him DJ. He can DJ. That boy is dope. Quest is dope. One thing, But long story short, though, look, DJ Akadiddy, DJ Vlad the Impaler, they're doing this interview. They had a discussion pretty much about Drake. They had a whole bunch of just topics, but they chimed in on Drake, and they basically was like, yo, Drake did some things. Vlad said he heard that some things happened at Drake's Hidden Hills home back day when he was in LA, and he don't want to get into it. He's like, he's surprised that no one's been indicted or nothing happened to whomever, blah, blah, blah. And I said, dang, he over here snitching like a mug. But that's what he do. Don't think he gonna be sitting over here, upholding the law or protecting. No, that's what Vlad does. Vlad does what he does. Well, I'll say allegedly, because I know that guy sitting there got his people watching, and I'll even say allegedly on that. But you just got to be careful what you say online nowadays, and that's pretty much why I'm even talking about this dogpiling campaign that has been going on for some time. So I talk about Vlad because he's an interesting character. Think about, what does he do for the culture? Just think about that. That's all I really got to say. Now, Vlad also he said something about Booker. I believe it's Booker T from the wrestling. Was that wrestling? He said something about Booker T on the wrestling side of the game. And he said Booker T went in on him, on Vlad, and he said, well, Booker T hangs with a PDFer, a certified PDFer, and the guy ended up getting his friend, Booker T's friend, is a certified PDFer, ended up getting arrested after Vlad pointed it out. I don't find that coincidental, but yeah, Booker T, he said he ain't playing with Vlad. Booker T, and then Vlad's like, oh yeah, we can patch it up. No, it's nothing. We can patch it. And then Vlad made he had another enemy that he was, we're not gonna, it's up, basically. That's what he said. Who was it? I think it was some white dude that he was saying. But long story short, he kind of clowned and was saying something about Booker T, and then he made a comment saying, Booker T lied about something, because I think there was an interview. Yeah, there was an interview that needed to be set up between him and Booker T, and he got there late, and then I think Booker T kind of blacked out on him or kind of spazzed out on him, and they haven't been cool ever since. But he said basically Booker T lied. Now Vlad, and this ain't no allegedly, I'm not gonna even say alleged, Vlad, you lied, because you lied on Jaguar when you were on the Piers Morgan Uncensored podcast, and you said you would never have Vlad Jag on your show, and you never reached out to her and all this or whatever. But I pulled up the receipt, and Jag showed it on Real Life. Your people did reach out to her and tried to get her on the channel. So, in all honesty, man, I mean, integrity. There's really no integrity with you, Vlad, in my opinion. So you see, the thing is and I can talk that talk because I got the receipts, and I dare you to, if you want to take it to the next level, go ahead and do it. But I'm not lying. And everything that I'm about to pull out right now, I'll just say allegedly, just for the, sake of, whatever. But yeah, I said if you're sitting with Vlad, you're doing bad. But Vlad is actually doing better than Adam 16, because wait, hold on. Here's the original sample, y'all. Hold on, check it out. All right, I don't know where I got it, but this is how we flipped it. Ooh, a massive Musa with a massive Ruger. The baddest dude is greatest master beauty. Attitude, shit like an active shooter. Shit, I had to do it bad to you. The chat and Buddhist, Jesus Christ, Judas, Luke and John and Mark, not the Judas. Oh, hey, I wrote something. I did write something to that, and I dissed a couple of people. Talib Kweli, Joey Badass. Anyway. All right. But anyway, check it out. Vlad, though. Vlad is sad. Vlad is doing bad. But he's doing better than Adam 16, because the situation with them, there's a whole thing going on with Adam and him saying that he's broke, or he didn't say he was broke. He said that No Jumper is broke. I think he bit off more than he could chew. He bought a building, etc., etc. I'm not here to pocket watch or nothing like that, but he's basically saying he has to downsize. But I think it has something to do with what's going on with the quote-unquote Rolling 60s Rico, because I said it. I'm the only one that said it online. Vlad went on and did an interview with Adam 22 and low-key warned him. Vlad told Adam, like, look, I had beef with Wack, and I was cool with Big U. I had beef with Wack for years, and I never went to these street guys to ask for protection. I just said I handled it myself. They asked me, did they ever want to have him handle it? And he said, nah. So he was low key telling Adam, like, look, I know you are protected by the rolling 40s. And let me just throw the allegedly out there, because I'm hearing it from the streets. I'm talking to street dudes, and they're saying that Adam Deuce, you see Faux Extra, he's back out of jail. Faux Extra is the dude that snatched up Orlando. Allegedly he's from 40 Crip. And you know, like I said, all the no jumper Crips get arrested. Coincidence? I think not. But I think Vlad was trying to tell his fellow slave master that, yeah, man, you're doing too much, getting too intertwined with these gangs. You got the 40s over here doing this. Ain't nobody gonna touch you because the 40s got your back. Allegedly, you need to you know, chill out. And then all of a sudden, he supposedly got a visit. Supposedly got a visit, and then he now he's all, you know, I'm scaling back. I'm doing bad in business. Blah blah blah. This and that or whatever. Yeah. So yeah. Long story short, though, the slave masters they got to round their Negroes in, and I think that's what's going on with the Adams situation. And like I said, the streets say, I'll say allegedly, the streets say he's protected by the 40s. And that's a no-no. You ain't supposed to, like Vlad know. Vlad, like, he's like, yeah, you're not supposed to be protected by, he know. So that's what's really going on. I think that'll all come out in the long run. But I know, like, yeah, it's going to get crazy. I'll just say that. But I'm bringing up Vlad, and I went a little too long just to kind of tie in what I was saying about this dogpiling campaign. A legit dogpiling campaign. Now, if y'all know what a dogpiling campaign, or if you know what dogpiling is, just go ahead and let me know. Put like a 1 if you know what dogpiling is. And if you don't know what dogpiling is, I will explain it. Because it's a new term that I learned. I mean, I heard about doxing. I've heard about, you know, skip tracing, and I've heard about all this other stuff, but when you're talking about dogpiling, and we're talking about this in the sense of social media, it's online harassment where people coordinate to target and harass a single person or a group, often using criticism, insults, abuse, hazing, stalking stuff. I mean, online abuse where multiple people or multiple groups target the same victim with harassment or criticism. And they do things like flaming, aggressive online communication. Again, we talked about doxing, releasing personal information without consent, impersonations, creating fake accounts to mimic and target or spread misinformation, public shaming, which, you know, they've done that to me. You know, they pulling up arrest records and saying I did this and that or whatever, sending private messages and targeting victims with abusive messages. And essentially it's cyberbullying, and it's illegal. It's definitely illegal. So let's run it back. When did the dogpiling campaign start? I don't know exactly when, but I can tell you that the apex of it was when Jaguar Wright was sitting with Pierce Morgan. And this happened in October. But it was already a online campaign, you know what I'm saying, going on before that. And they basically just kind of ramped it up. And it got international, if you ask me, because they had her on a panel, and the intent, I thought, was just to have her talk to Pierce, and that's it. But they had her for about 10-15 minutes, and then next thing you know, Vlad comes up and essentially comes in and just discredits what Jag had said prior. Called her a conspiracy theorist, called her all kinds of this, and she's this and that, etc. So again, you know, basically the beginning of an official smear campaign. And, you know, again, he lied. He straight up lied and said he would never want her on, but his people reached out to her and asked her to be on. So how credible is he? Then right after that, we had Ariel Mitchell Kidd come on right after Vlad, and she attempted to back up Jag and call Vlad all kinds of whatevers. So remember those two people. Let's look at that. Those two people, Vlad, Ariel. So I found it interesting that, okay, the international situation started there. Yeah, and it's a type of gang stalking. So they had an online campaign, but this whole little thing had been cooked up months prior. That's what my investigators have found out. It had been cooked up months prior. So Vlad ended up going on and doing some things with Real Life down the line. And again, shout out to Real Life, but you know, they're a part of it to a degree. And I won't get into it too much in depth, but I'm you know, in due time, there's a lot of things that went on behind the scenes that I just side-eyed. And even you know, things that had happened prior, you know, with one particular person who I'm not going to say anything. It's always been like a side eye, but we'll get more into that about Real Life down the line. But I just found it interesting that Real Life and Vlad are buddy, and there's something going on behind that, something deeper than that. So it's kind of like, you know, why is Vlad over there canoodling with the Real Life production cats? The antennas went up like immediately, like So right after the Pierce Morgan situation, it wasn't right after when he got with Real Life, but I'm just saying sometime after, there was that Real Life Vlad connection. Now Vlad has also a connection to, you know, somebody I work with at KBLA, and it's nothing nefarious or nothing like that, but I just look at it like just kind of like, you know, putting two and two together, tying some stuff in or whatever, doing my investigative journalism stuff. So yeah, Vlad though, let me switch the beat up on y'all real quick. Vlad is okay. Vlad is, what is he? He's a reporter. He says he's DJ. He's this and that. He's a content creator. Now, I'll say it like this. He's in the business of making content. I hear that he's trying not to just make that his home thing. So now he has the thing with members could get $100 basically classes, and he's teaching them how to be successful online, etc., etc. Because he sees the window of opportunity more than likely is done for him in this online space. I'm not giving him no credit for, like I said, just for lying on Jag on national TV. And then he tweeted something about Jag's mental health that needs to be addressed as well, and we're going to talk about that in the future too. But right now, I'm just talking about just the beginning of this smear campaign, this dogpiling campaign, from how I see it, my perspective. Now, again, Vlad linked up with Real Life. I've always side-eyed it, Real Life, on just how they did their business with Jag, and that's a whole nother conversation. I've always been told when you do business, you do just be just. You understand what I'm saying? Be just in all of your doings when you do business, right? So yeah, but I always side-eyed that situation because you look at the metrics, you look at the numbers and things like that when it comes to like, well, who's really pulling in numbers when it comes to interviews on particular channels. And, you know, I guess what happens when Jag sits on the blue couch, when she sat on the blue couch, she never was liable. Now, let's talk about liability. There's a certain content creator who his name's not to be mentioned. He wants to go quote unquote the white way when dealing with what I said about slapping someone with a lawsuit and then talking about their mama. But I did that purposefully. Now, liability, this is my channel. It's attached to my name, whatever, etc. This is my brand, Set in the West. So whatever I say on this channel, I am liable for. That's right. I am liable for, because I said it. That's why, you know, speaking to all the, you know, legalese people, I got to be more strategic on how I do everything. But everything I'm doing right now is backed up with facts and stuff, or I'm just reporting the news in general. But when I get into this type of commentary right now, where the powers that be are possibly listening, I'm just being very careful. But I'm laying it all out because this whole behind the screen situation is just going to be nuts. That's pretty much what's going to happen. It's going to turn this into a whole project, because it's deeper than even what I'm saying right now. I'm just kind of being coded and talking through it just so that you guys understand this whole thing was crazy in regards to what had happened. You know what I'm saying? What we got? Let me switch to this beat. I think Black wanted this beat. Should I let Black get this beat? Black. Okay. I could. You know what? All right. Anyway, let me not get lose track, because I wanted to switch the beat up. Shout out to Black Diamond. Yeah. So being liable for what you say, because what you say cannot be, once it's out there, it can't be taken back. I don't care what you talk about. Once it's out there, it cannot be taken back. It's out there. You can apologize, you can maybe amend, but it's out there. So liability. Now, the one stalker, or I will say YouTuber, who I found out has been stalking not just me online, but me in real life, and trying to find certain things, trying to find locations and money, and it's like, bro, really? And this person says, you know, he's not a troll and he's not down with the troll farm or anything like that, but your actions say different. You're looking for addresses and you're looking for finances. Why? You're not an investigator, or are you? But no, you're not. You're not a hero either. The only thing you save is food. So why are you looking for whatever you're looking for? Yeah, this is the godfather of chewed food. They said he's not a hero. The only thing he can save is food. So why are you trying to do your investigative work or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah, like people on here, and look, you got people in the chat right now, basically on some dogpiling. But just understand now, it's a new sheriff in town. Things have changed. Don't think that all this stuff is not being noticed. Don't think that all this stuff is not being seen. Trust me, the operatives that have gone over to real life and tried to do X, Y, and Z and all that or whatever, that's being checked out. It's not falling on deaf ears. The thing is it's basically something called contributing to harassment. And then you know, you basically you're liable if you do something like I said, the godfather of chewed food. If you say something about someone online, about someone's mental health, and then you basically, you don't have fact though. Like you're saying something about someone's mental health, but you do not have fact. You can't go online and say something about that, even if they said it. So you're liable. You're the one that's gonna have an issue legally once everything is set up. So legally things are being taken care of. Trust me. Don't get it twisted. Like I hope y'all really understand. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that ain't nobody saying nothing about, and I encourage nobody to say nothing about that. Legally, it will get dealt with like a mother. You know? And hopefully it'll just make things better for YouTube and things like that, because there's a whole lot of just chicanery, fuckery that goes on. I think I went all the way up to 38 minutes. I didn't curse. I think I did. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Look. Yeah, I was about to say, what happened to my beat? Yeah, look. This whole thing is just it's very interesting. Like I said, the liability goes on the channel or the content creator, but then ultimately it goes on the platform, in all honesty. Again, people in the chat doing all types of dogpiling, like we just talked about. There's certain people that are in the chat doing all this dogpiling stuff. I guess you want to be on the Summer Jam screen. Hey, I guess that's what you want. Anyway, let me move on with what the topic at hand is, because I spoke on Vlad. I spoke on the connection with real life. I found it very interesting. You know, it's like, you know, take a piece of the devil's pie, and you know, and we're like Brandy, they want to be down. So, you know, one of the guys from real life actually hit me and was like trying to get an address, and you know, cool with him, have no issues with giving this person an address, but nothing ever came about from such address, right? Found it very suspicious. Now, this happened after Jaguar Wright was at Mar-a-Lago. When Mar-a-Lago, when everything happened with Mar-a-Lago, the game changed. So obviously the strategy changed. Jag pretty much was just out of the way. I'll just say it like that. And you know, people think she's in one place, but in all honesty, she's somewhere else, because the strategy changed for how things are going to get done. But ever since the Mar-a-Lago thing, there were funny things that were going on, like all of a sudden the shared space that we were working out of, people came looking for Jag. Let me pull that up. Let me actually pull that up. There were individuals who actually came on the door to the door looking for Jaguar, and I said, wait, what? It was very peculiar. I said, wait, what? Like, you got people looking for Jag, really? And just very weird. Like, a lot of weird stuff was going on. But you know, when you tapped in and you kind of understand what's going on, you kind of just, again, you're the person who is the master of your circumference, right? So let me share something with y'all real quick. Let me share something with y'all. Since Mar-a-Lago, this type of stuff happened. Hold on. Let me run this back. Hold on, y'all. And then let me switch up the beat too, because I think I got something for y'all. Hold on. Is it this one? Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's this one. Let's just run this one. All right, look. Check this out. So ever since the Mar-a-Lago trip, our situation just kind of you know, it just changed up. I'll just say it like that. But the attacks on Jag were more prevalent, and you started noticing stuff. You started seeing, you know, okay, some people are really hot, and we were told, my good contact was like, this is expected, don't trip. You know, when a person sees the president and the president has so many enemies, don't trip. Just document, do what you need to do. And you know, when they got the weight of the government on your head, it's a different situation. So this was the place where we were formerly renting out of, and just found this very interesting that this guy comes up and is asking for, let me mute it, but he's asking for Jag, I guess in regards to some, I don't know what was going on, but she wasn't there. She definitely wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And then what happened is, you know, I think a couple of days before, that address got leaked. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what happened. That address got leaked, and then all of a sudden you start seeing this. Now, mind you, all this stuff is now, you know, just straight up documented. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, you know, again, asking for addresses and all this. I found it very interesting. I got another thing too that happened where, you know, if a person has PTSD, they can be triggered. And people know, I guess people know, like I said, when I did the video called Productivity versus Productivity, right? I talked about that. A psychological profile that they will have on people. They have a psychological profile on everyone who's been online. Let me give you some game, real spill. There was a project called Project Echelon, right? Yeah, let me run at this. We about to take it home, all right? That's why I said we got to do like, this got to be like part 1, part 2, part 3. This got to be a series because I'm talking it out. I hope you guys are following me, and I'm just trying to make this all make sense. And I'm gonna run one more video before I get up out of here. But there was a program called Project Echelon. So back day, who had AOL back in the day? Did anybody have AOL back in the day? And it was just simple. AOL was like dial-up. You had a modem. You basically had, you know, your form where you were in basically AOL, their little platform, and you know, you got mail. You know, you remember that. You know, you dial up, there's all that or whatever, and you pretty much did everything online. But it was pretty much like an app if you really look at it. It was like the first iteration of an app. For those who are young enough, don't know about dial-up and don't know about AOL. It was like an app. You had instant messaging on there, and you could talk to chicks. You know, you could get in chat rooms. You could play games, play dominoes, all that, right? But you know, that didn't require a whole bunch of data transference. So when you did the dial-up stuff, and you know, your dial-up was really kind of slow. I think my first one was like 14.4, and then I got my own apartment at 28.8, and I ended up getting a 56K. Those are the days back in the day. But yeah, they say you could take a bath. You could take a bath and cook while you were logging in. Exactly. But AOL was like this. It was a self-contained, basically, YouTube. I mean, a browser. Because it had a browser. It was an app. It was basically like an app. You could talk to people. You could chat. You could do this, that, or whatever. And those were like the good old days of it. People didn't even have pictures. People didn't even have pictures. It was just like, okay, who was it? I think I had like a bunch of friends, and I kept contact with them up until I'm not in contact with them now. But overall, I had my real friends. Oh yeah, what's your AOL? You know, from high school, and then, you know, friends you met online or whatever. But I say all that to say, when you go online, and back then they had a project. It was called Project Echelon. Y'all can look it up. They were just tracking information. The moment your dial-up had, like, I don't know, downloaded more than like maybe a megabyte or 2 or 3 or something crazy, you went on a registry. Because I think the first thing, when I got my apartment, I got my computer, boom, in 1998. How long ago was that? It was a beautiful time. I was had my own apartment, had my computer, got in the AOL, logged in, and I learned about MP3s. And I'm like, oh, wait, we don't need CDs. We can just download. And I downloaded that one song by Busta Rhymes. And boom, I was on a registry. I didn't even realize it because that was like a 3 megabyte song. And that thing took 30 minutes to download. But that's how it was back in the day. But they always watch. I'll just say it like that. The powers that be, they always watch. So if someone is downloading something big of that nature, maybe it's something going on, they gotta watch it. So don't get it twisted. All these people that are doing all this gang stalking and dogpiling online, you're already on that registry. I'll just say it like that. That's what I realized. You're already on that registry. So yeah. So let me, Napster. And this was after Napster. But I'm saying like at the very beginning, before there was a Napster, there was just MP3s. I just remember someone was like, hey, because Bus is still one of my favorite artists. Bus basically had an album, The Coming, and then he dropped, When Disaster Strikes. So, basically, I was a Busta Rhymes fan. I got The Coming. I had the tape. Then I got When Disaster Strike, and then he had this one song, It's All Good. And I heard about it, and I was like, I can't find it on no mixtapes. Because back then, it was mixtapes. I was kicking it with my homegirl from New York, and they would, I'll bring you back a Clue tape. And that's how I was back then. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I cannot find this song. It's by Busta Rhymes called It's All Good. So I was like, oh, you can download it. What? You can download it? Yeah. Okay, download. Okay, I went to go download it, and boom. I'm on a registry. Not on a registry like that. Not on the registry like that. I was on a registry. Look up Project Echelon. If people download so many megabytes, it's boom, you're on the registry. So now the game has changed. Of course, they monitor the dark web, and then, they just monitor these creeps now who are online doing all this creepy stuff. And the thing is just keep on doing it. Just keep on doing the creepy stuff. Yeah, I tapped out after Kaza, because every time you download something, remember the LimeWire? You download something, it'd be like, that Sierra 1-2 step, or that Goodies. I remember it was Goodies. I'm like, I like this song by Sierra, Goodies. And then you play it, it's yo, Soldier Boy up. It's like, yo, why y'all lying? Y'all got me downloading all this, And that's a whole nother conversation too. That's why I'm still not big on the what Adam 16 is known for doing, how he makes his money, doing that online, because people were downloading stuff online and you never know what you were getting, and a lot of people got caught up that way too. But that's a whole nother conversation. But like I said, y'all, we got to make this like a whole series, because it's too much to unpack. I'm trying to unpack it, and I got some business to handle, so I'm gonna tap out in a second. But I say all that to say the dogpiling campaign after Jaguar left, Mar-a-Lago just went crazy, and they don't realize how much of how ensnared they got in the trap. It's called the web, for goodness sake. So if you're looking for certain information and you put out certain information and you do this or that, and then you get caught up, it's because it's the web. So I would say 2 weeks after Mar-a-Lago, the unfortunate passing of Angie Stone, which Paperwork has been covering. And Paperwork, man, people been going in on you. We're going to talk about that, but Paperwork covered it, the passing of Angie Stone. I'm starting to study more of the gematria stuff and things like that, and that's why it's very important that certain stuff are out at a certain time and all that, because all that stuff matters, man. The gematria game, all that stuff matters. So when my guy looked into the gematria of what was going on with Angie, it honestly could have been prevented, but she did her last performance at a Masonic Hall. I guess she needed the money, and one of my OGs always say, all money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? But again, at this time, Jag had already been out of the way. The same location that I'm going to show you right here, the same night, and Jag knows because I told her, but the same night that Angie was taken out, there was a visitor. Hold on, let me run it. Let me run it real quick. Wait, hold on 1 second. Is this their initial? Yeah, okay. I guess let me run this one real quick. God, hold on. All right. These visitors came knocking on the Dizzo. Foe in the Mizzo. Knocking on the wrong Dizzo. And then I was actually there getting some stuff prepped for work. So they confronted me when they left, and this is the confrontation when they confronted me.
Hello? Hello? Hey, how you doing, sir? Hey, any chance of Jacqueline lives here?
Right? There was no Jacqueline that lived there. Like, I BS you not. That's the same night that Angie Stone was unalived. Look, people, we really got to be up on game because you know, the gematria stuff is real, and I think that's part of the reason why we kind of like cracked the code. But you know, I had been producing for Jag for months, and you know, just things needed to change because of, especially with the Trump thing. And these people have gotten super desperate. Everybody that's involved will have to kind of they're gonna have to answer to it. I'll just say it like that, because it's not just random. It happened multiple times. We have proof, we have evidence, we got everything. Everything is everything. We got everything. And I think it's kind of like, you know, you just want to dig yourself into a deeper grave than just go ahead and do so. But the dogpiling campaign is, I'll say, was real crazy, but it's still going on. It's still going on. And what I will do is we'll do a part 2, because I talked about Vlad. I talked about his connection to real life, and I found that very peculiar, very interesting. We didn't get into the Ariel Mitchell stuff. Because that's the other piece. Do y'all know that Ariel Mitchell went to school around the same time as J. Cole? And okay, coincidental. They went to the same school, St. John's University in New York. Coincidence. Maybe they didn't know each other. Okay, well, there was a Pan-African club that J. Cole and Ariel Mitchell were a part of. And J. Cole just happened to be the president of it, and you know, I think Ariel was a member. So we could talk a little bit about that rabbit hole. Yeah, we can talk about that, because it you know, the Vlad thing and the real life thing was one angle, and then we got the Ariel Mitchell and the J. Cole situation. You tie that into Jay-Z, that's another one. And I still didn't get into the Atwood stuff, y'all. That's why I said this whole dogpiling stuff. It's a very interesting tale. It's a very interesting story. I think it's like it's kind of hard to believe. Like, my members, y'all know, I have that documentary on my channel with the Madonna stalker. If the members know, there's a documentary on there, and it's, you know, I appreciate y'all even giving me the props on it. I'll never let it see the light of day in public like that, but my members, y'all can see it. But y'all, you know, that just shows you the quality of work that I have been doing for some time, and I'm a researcher. So that was all me. I wrote all that. That was not Chat GTP, because it wasn't no Chat GTP back then. That was all me. I wrote all that. I'm a researcher. I wrote all that. I came up with all that. I interviewed the guy. Off record, I interviewed Madonna's bodyguard. He just said, "Yeah, just make sure whoever you got playing me is good looking." but he told me some stuff offline and off screen, and you know, I utilized it and I did my thing. And oh yeah, I appreciate. So the members, yep, y'all know, yep. So this whole project is what I'm talking about with that project. Very unbelievable. This whole gang, this dogpiling campaign is unbelievable. You'll be very shocked at all the stuff that is uncovered, and I'll just leak it out every now and then. You know, if you see something in a topic about dogpiling, you know what it is. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think Jonathan Hay is legit. I'll keep it a buck. When I first met him, I thought he was a Satanist. but get to talk to him, and we was about to go in on him, and it's like, oh no, he's legit. I hope he's careful. That's all I really got to say, because do your gematria work and know when someone's gonna try to line you up or come after you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the real thing in this industry. They do that. But yeah, back to what I showed y'all. The same day that Angie Stone was taken out, yeah, it's someone knocking on the door of the shared space that we were actually the wrong door, and then they came in. I was basically preparing to go to work at the radio station, and I was working on some stuff, and I said, you know, before let me tap in, do what I need to do, boom, and I'm gonna head on out. And they just happened to be right there, and I opened the garage, and they was right there. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. What's the name of that video? It's on my if you're a member, I mean, you are a member. It is called Love for Keeps. It's on the members. Look up the members. Love for Keeps. LUV for Keeps. It's about the Madonna stalker, the guy who actually stalked Madonna back in 1994, 95. No, that wasn't our door, Jay. That was, like I said, that was a place that it was a shared space where people were, you know, it was like basically like a content spot. And I had my my editing bay. But yeah, they got the address. I don't know from where. Well, I kind of know from where. And I'll say I'm talking about the cyber stalker. It's a cyber stalker who calls herself an Avenger. She got the address, and she's on the docket too. She's gonna get dealt with legally. And she leaked it. She also threatened to do some things to certain people. So yeah. And then speaking of threats, I didn't even get into the vulture. I wanted to talk about her threatening people, but again, how about that? So how about we put a pin in it? We put a pin in it, and then we you know, we pick it up. We pick it up. I think I know what the problem is in chat. I've seen. Okay. All right. We're gonna figure it out. But I mean, it looks like everything is working right now. But yeah. We worry for him too. Talking about Jonathan Hay. We worry for him. In fact, I need to tap in with him just to kind of say what's up to him. But no, we kind of built like a whole family, whether we're working together or not. We all check in on each other. You know, we know what time it is. We got to look out for each other. So, you know, regardless to what, don't get it twisted. If you ain't seeing my face, or you ain't seeing this and that, guess what? You got to be behind the scenes doing the work, the legal work, because these dogpilers, they out there doing a whole lot. And if you're just constantly online and not actually putting in work, then, you know, I don't know. It's the same thing as faith without works is dead, they say. But again, y'all, I'll just say what my stepmom said to us when we were kids: don't do anything illegal or immoral, and I think you'll be all right. There isn't anything illegal or immoral that I have done, so I know where I'm at. But when you got people doing all these other things behind the scenes, and like I said, the guy who claims to be not a troll and he's the Godfather, he had information. He's got information, and I figured out where he got it from. So all that is going to get dealt with. Like, it's going to be really bad. Like the Diddy stuff, the conspiracy with the Diddy stuff, next month, everybody's going to see it. It's going to be all out there for everyone to see. With this dogpiling campaign, though, I don't know when it's going to see the light of day, but guess what? I wish I had my shoe program thing, but all I got to say is shoe program, ninja. Real talk, because look, you're not just supposed to get online and just you're not just supposed to get online and do things to people, inflicting harm, coordinating attacks, coordinating posts, imitating people, bullying people, harassing one person, targeting one, public shaming one person, flaming an individual. Like, you know how bad it could be. And a lot of these people don't even have money. You did the research. Like, they don't even have money. So it's kind of like, you know, they better just send them off to Antarctica butt naked and let them just walk around and good luck, survive. They don't have any money, and they're already living in a life of, like, they're already punished, and they're already just, I don't know. Like, all I'm saying is the level of punishment is kind of like, what is it that you could do to them? They're already living in hell. Again, do not do anything illegal or immoral, and be just in all of your doings with your business. That's it. Because what's in the dark comes to light. I'm saying all these cliches. I sound like a goddamn on postcard. But yeah, we'll continue this conversation, because like I said, I didn't go deep. I really didn't. Pause. I didn't go deep. I just scratched the surface. But if y'all like it, hit the like button. And yeah, just you know, yeah, Nana, that's what's up. Let me give everyone a shout out. Jennifer, appreciate you. Jennifer, appreciate you. Jay Mizak, Auntie Leah, always appreciate you. Aset, Netta, Cat, and Truth Only, thank you for being a member. And Nick, MGP, yeah. So, yep. Yeah, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. Y'all definitely just stay tuned, because it's gonna get more and more intense, and I'm gonna make sure that justice is produced. That's where I'm at with it right now. Y'all saw I did that documentary. Like I said, if you're a member, go check out the doc. You see how thorough I am. I'm not like saying I'm all this and that or whatever, but I am thorough. I ain't playing around, especially when it comes to my name. So yeah, just wait till we really get this behind the screen thing popping and expose it. The expose is just going to be more and more nuts. So again, stay tuned, put the bell on, and definitely just tune in, because what will happen from here on out, you'll see expose, dogpiling expose, blah blah blah. I'm just going to keep that whole thing going. I'm still going to do my other content, but I'm just going to do the expose. What real life did, man, what Pierce did, oh, man. I y'all know I'm a documentary, so I have so much behind the scenes stuff. We're gonna really get into it. And like I said, I'm not just gonna kick the chair. It's not gonna be something where it's like, oh, I'm give y'all everything all at once. We're gonna walk it all out so y'all can see really how it is. But it's real heavy, it's real deep, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But other than that, again, you guys Y'all be good. Y'all be the masters of your circumference. Master yourself and study the opponent. That's all I really got to say. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm up out of here and see y'all in a minute. Peace.
Wolf gang, where you at, man? Wolf. Yeah.